AskReddit by Krebs to 10,000. What is an addiction many people don't realize they have? I feel people who gamble never really seem to realize how bad their addiction is. Whenever you try to talk sense into them, they seem completely greed-fueled, like they are willing to risk everything for that chance to be rich. It's scary as hell. I basically never gamble, but was in a casino on my 30th birthday, and decided it would be fun to gamble just a little. Said I'll just gamble till I lose $50. Well, that didn't take long, and it was fun. And I almost had the game figured out and I was getting ready to go pull more cash. Thank God my wife came by and pulled me out of there. That's when I realized the only reason I was not addicted to gambling is because I never do it. And so I've just stopped. Cold turkey. Doom scrolling. Didn't have to doom scroll far for that one. Addicted to validation. Whether it comes from video games, getting likes on a post comment, from work, etc. People stay chasing validation in most any form. Edit, the awards are very validating. Thanks kind redditors. People have always wanted to be liked, but before, we were only seeking acceptance from those in our village. Maybe a couple hundred people at maximum. But never billions of people who live on different continents and don't even know we exist. Anger and attention. Too many people have no self-control because being petty feels good, but realistically it is a toxic way of dealing with anger. Sugar and caffeine. Yup, if you're relying on caffeine to start your morning and get through your day, every day, then your body becomes dependent on it, which makes it harder to start a day without it. And sugar. PFF man, I think that's the worst, it's so addictive. Reddit. Opposite addictions, not vitally necessary functions. Coffee, phones. Anyone who has ever experienced the headaches, fatigue and nausea of the first week caffeine free will agree. Social media. Politics. The amount of people that watch nothing but Fox, CNN or MSNBC all day is ridiculous. If this is you, seriously that isn't news you're watching. Surprised I had to scroll this far to see this. Cable news is designed to hook people on their own impotent rage. It's a cancer, man. Online shopping. It's got me deep. Eater. In my case it's an addiction in the sense of I seem to always use buy now pay it later on Klarna. I'll genuinely need to just order one thing, but then before I know it, I've made 20 orders for clothing, and then when the high of the addiction wears off, I have to waste the time returning everything and I retreat into depression, which results in me starting the cycle anew and buying more clothes. I fucking hate it and can't seem to just quit. Like I know I need to stop and want to, but it's so damn hard. I also don't have the money to sustain this, so I'm fucking myself over even more. It's always H&M that has a grip on me. Like I have enough clothes, so why do I keep buying more? Oh, impulse buying, my number one coping skill. Weed. It's me. I love it. But it's still an addiction. I'm glad you can admit this. Many redditors and weed enjoyers are unable to accept the fact that a full-blown marijuana addiction is not healthy or beneficial. Fast food. I don't think only fast food, I would say any type of food. It has become more and more frequent, being on the rise in kids too. Overeating is very easy, and with mukbangs, it is sort of normalized. Trading stocks, penny stocks, short long with the typical gambling mentality. This trade will make up for the other losses so far, or my system works. I lost a lot of money with neo brokers. Anyone who is doing that kind of stuff with other people's money is going to be a sham. Also, it is gambling. We can rebrand it as whatever. Investing, trading, wealth building. But in the end it is totally possible to take massive losses and still lose it all or close to it. I suppose it's better than casinos, But hell, in casinos if you throw $20k at them they at least give you some perks. Sugar. Eating and drinking way too many sweet things. Anyone who thinks sugar is not addictive should try to not eat any in a day. I've been reducing my sugar intake recently and find I will sometimes just sit at my desk thinking about how badly I want candy or a soda because my body is just dependent on the sugar. I think in 25 years people will talk about sugar the way we talk about cigarettes. Like it was obviously bad, we just kept doing it anyways. Alcoholism. Totally agree with this. So many people try to convince themselves that their drinking is normal. Porn. It's so normalized now. I had a breakthrough at some point and realized I'd consumed pornography in some form for every day of my life from an early age, and it is surprisingly more difficult to stop relying on it than you'd think. It's not just a problem for men either. I just posted this somewhere else. There's more and more research on how porn addiction actually resembles drug addiction in the brain, specifically cocaine addiction. https://cat398.medium.com/porn-addiction-worse-than-cocaine-fad644594CD5. Weirdly, in my so's journey to get clean, his relapses looked like symptoms after taking Molly. It's like all happiness and energy was getting sucked out of him for at least 2 days. I am not an addict, but I quit watching it out of solidarity and noticed some weird stuff myself. Despite only watching 3x per week max, I still have trouble not watching it. Also, our sex life improved significantly. Just getting this out there to increase awareness on how serious porn addiction can become. Phones, I'm guilty too. Shopping. Offering their opinions. Social media has made people believe that everyone needs to know their thoughts on everything at all times, and that people actually care about what you think about various obscure topics. While I have always been rather outspoken on Reddit due to the nature of the platform and how it's more of an anonymous forum than a social media site, I'm quite reserved on Instagram and have never posted or shared anything controversial. Screens, TV, computer monitor, tablet, phone, etc. There are far more alcoholics out there than people want to realize. Needing a couple of drinks per night means you've got a problem, Brenda. I got into alcohol around age 24 purely because being drunk was fun. I lived alone, so it turned into a daily thing and eventually became full-blown alcoholism when COVID lockdown came around, drinking as soon as I woke up. I didn't even realize it. To me it was just I get away with it and I like it. This mutated to dependency by age 26 and drinking became a habit to scratch my addiction itch rather than to have fun at all. I then gained 40+ pounds, lost to relationships and have had very close calls at a job I love. I have withdrawn probably 10+ times. I quit for a while and lost the weight, then jumped right back in. My last recent withdrawal was the nail in the coffin that it can't continue. I'm still trying to kick the habit day by day, but I think I'm finally on the right track. I've done it before. I can do it again and I can't afford to lose anything I have in my life currently. Fuck alcohol. Dopamine. Look at you, bringing a machine gun to fist fight. I watched 2 young ladies so horrifically addicted to Insta TikTok that they couldn't even order a Subway sandwich. They would scroll and zone out between each item they requested on their sandwich. It was sad to watch, really. The alarming part was that it was 2 girls in a row, not just a one-off random person. Narcissistic power. Say what you will about the studies, but weed is 100% addicting. As a chronic smoker for years who has to quit because I got pregnant, that shit is hard to quit. I'd still go home and go through any container I had left to see if there was anything to smoke, and my anxiety went absolutely insane when there wasn't. You might not have withdrawal symptoms, but your brain definitely gets conditioned to it. So true. I've had people tell me it's not addictive. They smoke weed every day but could stop whenever they wanted because it's not addictive. Fuck. People believe that shit is healthy. It messes with your brain and you become psychologically addicted to it. Guilty as charged. Guess I need a Doomscrillers Anonymous support group now. I feel like we as a culture are a bit obsessed with addictions. Unless it's disrupting your relationships or career, you're allowed to enjoy things that aren't productive. If anything, we're addicted to shame and guilt. That is not to imply that we aren't completely unself or of other moral failures. Hey, listen, I can quit accusing people of being addicted to things anytime I want. I just don't want to right now. Overthinking. If I could turn it off, I would gladly do so. I'm trying to unlearn it. Porn. Food addiction. Specifically bed. If you are addicted to drugs, you just need to quit doing drugs. Harder than it sounds, I know. With bed you must take your drug to survive. Binge eating disorder is caused by severe restriction, followed by binging. I've been to eating disorder rehab multiple times for other disorders, but the thing I remember most about bed is that to recover, you need to learn to let yourself have food without judgment. Your body normalizes as you recover and no longer makes you feel like you need to eat an uncomfortable amount of food. I will say that diet culture makes it so eating isn't done mindfully. People aren't mentally present and frequently feel the need to criticize themselves for eating food or say they need to earn the food. It's toxic.